Hello and good evening to Sports Today. My name is Ridhima Pathak and it's been a good day for India, hasn't it? 300 for 6. Day one of the first test. So far, India looks good. Before diving into what the show looks like and, of course, what the match preceded, let's take a look at what House that has in store for us.
क्या आप भी किसी अपने सपने मेरे तुम्हारे टीम 11 पे टीम बना रहे हो और बच्चों के साथ खेल रहे हो? हमारे साथ खेलोगे? हाउस पे खेलो लेजेंड्स के साथ, हमें हराओ और जीतो डबल कैश. Log on to houseit.com and win real cash.
All right, welcome back. This is Sports Today. And before taking a look at how the day proceeded, let's just break down the entire day into sessions and sessions. And for that, may I please invite Pragyan Ojha? I've got Pragyan Ojha joining me. Hey, Pragyan.
Hi.
And hi, and I see that we've got another tab there. We've got Boria Majumdar joining us. It's been a while, sir.
No, India Today conclave had consumed me, and then Pragyan is always the leader. With the track doing that, I don't need to talk. You just give it to Pragyan, he'll tweak the ball, India will win, no problem.
No, but also the fact that it's been a good day for India, we had to have you on the show, isn't it?
Absolutely. But Pragyan, you know, in mid-innings, you mentioned that to us. 300 on this wicket, close to 450 on any other track. 350 should be good enough, you reckon?
Yes, I think 300 today was a fabulous show by the Indians. You would have seen if Indians would have lost the toss, I am very sure they wouldn't have given so much run because this wicket was turning and bouncing. And if you see when Joe Root started bowling from round the wicket, it was very difficult for a right-hander to understand if the ball was turning or it's coming straight. And with that sharp turn and bounce, it was very difficult. You will see what Akshar and Ashwin and Kuldeep will do when they come on to bowl. So this is a very good total, I would say.
So yeah, let me assume the mantle of host because I'm told Ridhima's internet is a bit dodgy, so she will be our guest for the show today.
So far all good.
Okay, it's good. So you take over. But I'm told we've got graphics as well, Ridhima. So over to you.
Yeah. Yes. So we were I was just diving into the session graphics. But before that, let me just hear it from Pragyan. Pragyan, session 1 for you, session 2 and session 3. How did it pan out and in which way did it go?
I think everything went in India's favor. If you look at session 1, we were 103 for 3. Yes, we lost 3 wickets, but mind you, we got those 100 runs. And every run on this wicket is pure gold for any team because the wicket is going to deteriorate. And thanks to Rohit Sharma, the way he batted, we could see that easily. As soon as Rohit got out, then Ajinkya felt the pressure. And now you see when someone like Rishabh Pant is batting, getting those runs, because in these kind of wickets, you cannot just bat for the time. You have to get those runs because one out ball is just jumping, one out ball is turning sharp. So you need to get those runs. And Rohit Sharma single-handedly did that for this team. And that is why Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, these guys are so different from others. When they bat, they just bat and make sure the other team is out of the game. And that is exactly what is going to happen now.
Indeed, and since we mentioned Rohit Sharma, I think we should ask Boreda about his innings. And of course, even after putting up 140 something total, he looked really disappointed when he was walking out, especially because of that shot. That shot was not called 161. So because of that particular shot, he looked really disappointed. Boreda, how was Rohit Sharma for you today?
Outstanding. I mean, as Pragyan absolutely correctly said, I think that's a match-winning knock. And I'm saying it's a match-winning knock. There you see his graphics, 161. And look at the number of balls, 231. What's the strike rate? 70%. 70 is his strike rate in a test match on day one on a track that was doing a lot. I mean, puff of dust almost every ball. Joe Root was turning the ball a significant amount. 18 fours and 2 sixes. You know, people who were calling for Rohit Sharma's head, for God's sake, even in Australia, and we've been saying this on Sports Today from day one, that man is committed to playing test match cricket. He's living his dream. Give him the time. In Australia, he looked good. He got out. That pull, Mitchell Starc It was Rohit getting out, Nathan Lyon, Rohit getting out. Which bowler has troubled Rohit Sharma? No one. Look at the number of sweeps that he played today, and yes, he got out to a sweep, but he must have scored what, 100 runs with the sweep shot, and that's how good he is. He completely blocks the stump and then plays the outstanding batsman. And you know what? He's desperately hungry. His wife was there, so that obviously makes a difference because, as a family, Ritika always there for Rohit to back him up. So it is very, very important as far as Rohit Sharma is concerned that this innings on a difficult wicket, match-winning innings for his side, will shut up everybody, and that is important because he is a quality act, and we've got to back a quality player. Outstanding innings.
And I think that is an
add to
answer to a lot of. Sure.
Rhythm, to add to Boryada, he was telling about the sweep shot. I'll tell you the difference between a Joe Root and a Rohit Sharma. Joe Root is a very versatile player. He knows he has a better control over the sweep shot. So he can play you from the stump, outside leg stump and outside off stump. But a Rohit Sharma, if you see, he was picking the length. Sorry, picking the line. More it was line. Anything that was outside of, he was trying to sweep. That is his strength. So I'm telling you why it is important to tell, because as a batsman, you need to have a proper clarity of thought, and you should know what is your strength and what is not. He never swept. If you see, Ajinkya swept the ball which was on the stump, but Rohit wasn't sweeping anything that was on the stump. He was trying to sweep which was outside off. So that is also important. That shows that he was reading and he knew sweep shot is important, but at the same time he knew which sweep he can play and which sweep others can play. So he knows the difference. That is more important, picking those shots and the line and length.
Ridhima, again, excellent point. Because why did Pragyan Oja mention that? Because Rohit Sharma, each time the English wanted to go up and review, they knew that this guy is actually playing it. He's reading the line so well. It'll either be umpire's call or impact outside the line. So it will be a faulty review. That is why what Pragyan Oja just said, that he was picking the line, and it was excellent to see him do that. And he did that right through his innings. That's why it's a special innings on this wicket. You get 160 odd from 200 odd balls. You've set it up. That pace, the way you've scored, you have set it up. 350 is 500 runs on any track. First innings, this wicket, if it was the first test, this 350 is 500 plus for sure. That's why I'm saying Rishabh Pant there, he's already scored 30 plus. Another gem of a knock from Rishabh Pant. He is there for the first 10 overs tomorrow morning, game over for England.
Also, Rahane, gentlemen. I mean, the pressure that he was under, and there he stood. Pragyan, take me through how fantastic was his footwork against the spinners. Rahane's innings.
He's brilliant. There is no doubt about Rahane. We never had a doubt about Ajinkya Rahane. I've told you. The only thing is that everybody questions is his consistency. He gets a brilliant 100, he gets a brilliant 70. Today he got a brilliant 67. So he needs to continue, because a man of his stature has to be consistent. So that is the only thing everybody is surprised. We all are surprised because the way he bats, him not being consistent is something which we cannot relate to. So that is the only thing which surprises me. But other than that, I have no doubt about Ajinkya Rahane, the way he bats, the way he handles the situation, the way he deals with his players. There are no two ways about it. That is the only thing which surprises me.
Right. Also, the partnership, the fact that he's which I have a lot of confidence between the two.
I think
here.
There is a bit of an internet glitch there was a bit of an internet glitch with Ridhima there, but I got the question and I'll take it from there and then go to Pragyan. Basically, she was asking me about that partnership, and yes, very, very important partnership. I mean, Virat Kohli getting out when 3 down, and there's Deep Dasgupta joining us from the venue. He was on commentary in the last session. Deep keeps telling me how is his commentary. You know why he keeps asking? Because he knows he's damn good. So he wants me to tell him you're damn good. I mean, come on, Deep, you're becoming a megalomaniac par excellence. So let's put it on record once and for all. You're damn good, so that you don't keep asking me that question.
Boryada, I really liked the discussion that he had about their wicketkeeper, England wicketkeeper, the way he was collecting, the way he was flexing his knees. I was listening to him. That's a
Yeah,
very
yeah. I
good
mean,
point that
I
Deepa said.
I
Yeah.
generally keep it on mute, but because it's Deep, I keep listening to him. He's improved tremendously. Deep, first thoughts on the game. Trisha also says you keep asking her about commentary. So, it's not me alone. So we've got witnesses that you're damn good. So we've put that on record. Now you take it from
So
here.
so
India's day.
sweet of so sweet of you all. For me, I think that was a great day of cricket for India because this surface. Listen up. This is a day three, normal day three surface in the subcontinent. A lot of bounce, and we saw that. I mean, this is a very difficult pitch to bat on for new batsmen, and we saw that the moment Rohit got out, Ajinkya got out. It's not easy. It's turning. It's bouncing. So I think 300, and if India managed to get to that 350 and 370 mark, I think it's a really good total. I think already 300 is a good total on this. And this I'm saying because, and Pragyan will endorse that, because of Aksar predominantly, because the kind of Joe Root was a great example. I think Joe Root looked the most difficult bowler to face because he was bowling quick in the air. He was bowling at 90 clicks an hour. And that is exactly what you expect for someone like Aksar to do, right? Aksar will come in and bowl faster in the air, flatter in the air. That would also prevent batsmen from sweeping. We know how good Joe Root is sweeping the ball. And look at Joe Root there. 8 overs, 1 wicket, and just 15 runs. He was economical. He looked a very dangerous bowler as compared to someone like say Moeen Ali. He's more traditional. He's more, somebody who will get air, who would try and look to spin the ball and stuff. So I think it's the pace is going to be a very very crucial aspect of bowling on the surface.
Ridhima, if I
Right.
can ask a question of both of these gentlemen. I mean, Moeen
Sure.
Ali, 26 overs, 2 wickets, yes. Good 2 wickets, great 2 wickets, but 112 runs. 112. So the Indians at no point in time allowed Moeen Ali to do what Moeen Ali has done to us in the past. They took him on, continued to score. Look at that, Rick. Look at that. 4.3 is what Moeen Ali has given. 26 overs, hardly any maidens, 112 runs. Pragyan, you go first. How important was India's strategy against Moeen Ali?
It was very important, and everybody knows what Rohit Sharma can do. Because if off spinner bowls to him, he'll never let him settle. He will never let him settle. That's what he was doing, and that's the reason Ajinkya and Rohit made sure that they don't let this guy settle down, and they were trying to get those quick runs. So he was the one who was trying to get his rhythm, but he could not. But as long as Rohit Sharma bats, I don't see any off spinner surviving. Either he will get out or he will make sure the bowler is totally out of the game. And that's what has happened with Moeen Ali. Giving 112 runs in this kind of a track is like you're giving 200 runs.
Deep.
But
Uh,
yes, sir.
well,
Sure.
for me, I think the most important part was the fact that both Rohit and Ajinkya started sweeping. We didn't see any of the Indian batsmen sweeping in the first Test match. And then again, I mean, from a bowler's perspective, Pragyan will be able to explain it better. But from a batsman, generally the delivery that you defend is the one that you sweep, right? So suddenly those good deliveries are going to the boundaries. So suddenly the bowler is going to bowl flatter. He might start bowling shorter. So everything changes once you start playing that shot. Obviously, I mean, look at the way both Ajinkya and Rohit used their feet. They stepped out. They played the sweep. They were quick on the back foot as well. So the footwork, I believe, was so essential, and especially against the spinner.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about. Ajinkya Rahane's footwork against the spinners right before my internet cranked up. But in England's defense, Boreda, if there was a Moeen Ali, there was also an Oli Stone, and I thought he was really impressive also. And Pragyan, if you could just take us through how they set Pujara up, Joe Root and Jack Leach, the way they set Pujara up.
I'll tell you, I was coming to that point. I was watching it. I'll tell you, you remember normally batsmen, they try and get those singles to the third man in a one-day game, and there are fast bowlers who try have a wider slip or something, and they just try to nick him off. That's what has happened. They knew exactly Pujara was looking for those single uh, near that point and cover point. So they were bowling close to the stumps and they were not giving him any room. So Pujara was trying to create that room to negate the spin. The ball turned much more than what he was expecting. So he ended up giving that outer edge. Initially, if you see, he was just trying to get that single there, but they did not mind. They did not stop that single because they knew if the ball is going to turn more, he's going to end up giving a catch to the slips. And exactly that's what happened. And full marks to Jack Lees. He was bowling that tighter line. He didn't try and bowl any other delivery. He was just bowling there and making sure Pujara plays there. He wanted Pujara to open his face of the bat.
Right. So what could Pujara have done at that point?
For me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's nothing. I mean, to be very honest, that's good captaincy, good bowling. Yeah, I mean, just as Pragyan mentioned, that turned a little more than he expected. He was still trying to find that gap and pick up that single. Because the other thing that Pujara has done really well in the last Test match and here was rotating the strike. If you look at his strike rate or his rotation, and it was really really good. So I think that was good captaincy, good bowling overall. And the only thing you can be, if you really want to be overtly critical, just maybe a bigger stride more towards the ball, not really allowing the ball to spin as much. This is only if you're trying to be overtly critical, to be honest. But I think that was really good piece of captaincy and bowling.
All right. Well, the pitch is already turning, Boryada. So what are you expecting on the second day?
See, as Deep said, I mean, I've been tweeting all day that if India gets to 350, for me, that's 500. I mean, I think that's a winning score. I think Rohit Sharma has set the match up. Ajinkya Rahane played perfect second point, and Rishabh Pant there means England will have nightmares because that fellow, I mean, Jack Leach is his Valentine, right? He loves him. So every time Jack Leach will do something, instead of a rose, he will deposit him over the wherever. I mean, look at that fellow. I mean, he will have one mid wicket, one square leg, one long on. He'll still hit him for six. Unbelievable fellow, unbelievable. And Deep, I would love to hear from you. You had access to the stump mic, maybe on commentary. What was that dialogue between Ben Fowkes and Rishabh? If you had a chance to listen to that, but Rishabh Pant there, India gets to 350, 370 for me. This is 90-10 in favor of India winning. England winning 0. England drawing minimal chance. On this wicket, if England survive, then that's a bit of a miracle, and miracles don't really happen.
And one more thing I would like to add. If you look at these spinners, Jack Leach and Moeen Ali, they never tried different angles. On these kind of wicket, if you see Ashwin is getting some turn, but the batsman is, he's trying to negate and he's trying to be a little comfortable. He'll straight away change his angle. He'll come round the wicket and bowl those on this rough, or maybe try and bowl those carom balls or those flippers. So Moeen Ali didn't try that. And if you look at Jack Leach, he can try. He knows that if he comes over the wicket, even if the wicket is helping the spinners, there is puff coming out, but Rishabh Pant, being Rishabh Pant, will attack him. Why not come round the wicket and try and create that angle? If he goes, if the ball doesn't turn with the angle, with the arm, if the ball goes out, never know. I think they are not thinking, they're not improvising on things. This is something which I thought they should, because as soon as Rishabh Pant is batting, this guy is coming over the wicket and bowling. He's never gone round the wicket and tried to create an angle and see what else you can do as a bowler.
Right. Right. All right. Having said that, we've already heard the commentators about telling us the impact of this particular match. But just for our viewers, very quickly, I believe we've served, since you were in commentary, 2 matches we've got to win, 2 test matches to qualify in the World Test Championship. Not
No,
it's a 2-1 or a 3-1.
No, and not lose. That's right. Yeah.
And not yeah.
Yeah.
So that is how we stand at the World Test Championship series, right?
And
Yeah,
I think it's important for us to keep breaking something on Sports Today. So let me say, from what I know, that Test Championship final is not at Lords. From what I know, that final is in Southampton. So anyone who's thinking Lords, don't book London. Please book that hotel in Southampton. and that's where the match is going to be. From what I know from the ICC sources and BCCI sources, it is going to be in Southampton and no odds.
All right, since there is a breaking news right there, we also have a question for you, Boryada, from a viewer. His name is Akshat Harchikar, and he's asking, Borya, sir, your thoughts on the umpiring controversy.
No, Deep will say that. I mean, for me, Indian umpires in the first test were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And look, if you see the Australia series and see this series, I will say Indian umpires have been better than what we've seen in Australia. I would make a case for more Indian umpires at the top level of the game. One or two here and there. If you see the Tim Payne dismissal, think about it. Then think about Anil Chaudhary and you will shut up. So, if anyone is critical of Indian umpires, I think that's unfair. I think more and more Indian umpires deserve to be at the top level. First game, they were absolutely spectacular. Today, that one, yes, from the back, if you see, maybe that's a different call. Having said that, overall, if you really see overall, umpiring standard has been pretty good for me.
All right.
And also the catch, I think at the short leg, the catch, it straight went it hit the pads and then hit the gloves and went to the short leg.
That's the one.
That was something which,
that's the one.
That's the one.
Right.
Would you have given the Rohit Sharma one out? I mean, that's stumping. Maybe not. That was
very close. I mean, listen,
it depends on individual.
Yeah, exactly.
And we said who benefit of doubt goes to whom here? Is it the batsman, the bowler? And that was the debate, because it obviously, I mean, it was a 50-50 as far as I saw it, for the 50-50, right? So from that perspective, then you say, okay, the benefit of doubt goes to the batsman. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I would agree with what Boria mentioned right now. I think the umpiring standard in general has been very good in the last two test match. Some of the decisions were very close, and I think umpiring has been good. Yes, that was a mistake, but yeah, I mean, they're human beings. You've got to let go of a few.
And we've seen far worse. By the way, we've seen far worse. I mean, so let's not be harsh on Indian umpires. We've seen in recent times umpires do all kinds of things, from overturning decisions to weird things happening. Pragyan just laughing, so we all know where we are coming from. So, but Deep Dasgupta, tomorrow morning, believe me, Rishabh Pant will hand Jack Leach a rose.
I was just looking at some numbers, and Rishabh's strike rate against Jack Leach in this series is over 200.
That's why I said he's his Valentine. Loves him.
But that will be the moment of the day tomorrow.
Around the wicket.
But what you don't want, Boria, what you don't want is Rishabh giving a return gift to Jack Leach.
No, that's the gift. That's the gift. 5 more sixes. Calm down, buddy. That's the gift. He's given it to you.
All right. So since we're talking about the moment of the day, which will be tomorrow, how was Virat Kohli's reaction on his dismissal for you guys? I think it took away a lot of. I mean, it took away the charm from the bowler. I thought the reaction was very, very cute.
But the best tweet on that is, I don't remember who tweeted, but someone tweeted, if I have the confidence of Virat Kohli of reviewing after I get bowled, believe me, that's the kind of confidence I should have. Someone tweeted that. I love that tweet. I absolutely love that tweet.
But to set the record straight, it wasn't the review that he had taken. The umpire had. But that was a good ball. I mean, let's be very, very honest. Again, if you want to be overly critical, say he shouldn't have driven that length, which I agree. But I mean, from a spinner's perspective, from an off spinner, that's absolute a dream ball. Forcing the batsman of Virat's caliber to drive against turn, then finding that gap between pad and top of off stump. I mean, that's an absolute dream delivery.
No doubt about that. We've got a question here from Mishra Rajesh. He's asking Pragyan, the pitch is too deteriorating. What will happen on day 3 then?
The game will get over, I guess.
4-4, day 4.
No, that is
very optimistic.
But I'm telling you, it's no. I'm telling you, you will see what will happen when Akshar Patel, Ashwin, and Kuldeep bowl. You will see that. I think Root and the rest of his boys will be thinking about the wicket, because they know what these guys can do. And Akshar and Ashwin, they will bowl quick. They will not give any time to this English batsman. Kuldeep, yes, because his strength is to flight a bit. He may bowl little slower, but these two guys will make sure they don't give any time to these guys. They will try and hit those rough. We saw what Joe Root did. He was just coming and firing it on those rough patches, and we all saw what was happening. Imagine what a bowler like Ashwin and Akshar Patel will do.
So Deep,
I'm actually,
Deep, do you get paid for the test match? Do you get paid per day? If you don't get paid for the per day, then then come on the 16th. Pragyan's already told you 16th is Saraswati Puja. Come over. We'll win by then.
okay, we've got a question. Meet the Vermas asking Deep sir, would you consider Broad and Stone's spell effective?
I thought Stones was very good. Broad, maybe not, and that's the challenge. I mean, now the challenge of this whole rotation policy is you bowl well, and then suddenly next test match you're not playing. You tend, I guess, you lose rhythm. So first spell was all right, second all right, but obviously it would take anyone some time to get back into rhythm, and this rotation policy can affect that rhythm. But I thought Ollie Stone was very good. He was consistently over 140 kilometers an hour. The line and length that he bowled. The other thing that we did not see in this test match so far is the ball reversing. In the first test match, we all remember how much it reversed. I mean, especially overs 20 to 45, 50. We didn't see the ball reversing, I wouldn't say at all. There was hint of reverse for few overs, but we didn't actually see it reverse. And on surfaces like these and conditions like these, it's and if a fast bowler becomes that much more effective when the ball starts reversing. We all know, Anderson, when the ball started reversing, became that much more effective. With the new ball, he wasn't as much. So I think that's the other thing that that we saw in this test match, or day one at least.
Yep.
But Deepak, I find a couple of things which could stop the ball from reversing. One is when the spinners bowl, they should know that in these kind of conditions, your palms will sweat. So you should not be holding the ball. The rough side, you should make sure you're not holding the rough side with your palm. Once the sweat touches the rough side, then the ball will not reverse. And we have the crowd now at the venue, and every time the ball goes out of the park, they're going to put sanitizers. We don't know. Maybe these are the factors which are stopping the ball from reverse.
Obviously, yes. But the other
before you answer that,
Yeah.
I'll need to leave. So one question to you: you were there when the ball actually landed in the crowd? I didn't see sanitizers come out. Was the ball
was
sanitized?
Yeah.
Was sanitized?
So the umpires, they're carrying these tissue papers. So every time the ball goes outside into the crowd and all that, and they sanitize it. The other reason that could be is also the pitch. It's not as abrasive as the first test pitch. If you see the color of it, the last pitch was red soil, and this is more black. So the soil itself or the surface itself is not as abrasive as the first test. So if you look at the ball, even the 80 over ball, we saw in the first test, the seam was in tatters after 30, 40 overs, but this one looks all right.
Right.
But Deepak, normally if you have played a lot of cricket in Chennai, you will see any ball would reverse because of the weather, because of the surface. Yes, I understand, but I somehow strongly feel, so many times my seniors used to tell me that don't hold the ball, when your palms are sweating and when you are bowling a spell, don't try and hold the ball with your palm onto the rough side. So that is something later on these guys started. I think one of you was mentioning about it also. I saw during the game that, see, right now they're trying to hold the seam and trying to shine the ball. They're not holding the ball properly. They're just holding onto the seam and shining the ball, because they know if the rough side is wet, then the reverse thing is gone out of the park.
Right. Also, we've got a question here by CPTMZ, and this one is for the guys. Like Virat and Ashwin mentioned bad quality of SG ball in the last match. What was the reason for that? And do you see the same quality of ball being played in this match as well?
Yeah, it's the same ball.
It's the same ball. It's the same company. It has to be from the same batch as well. So you get in boxes, right? You get 24 balls in a box. So it's from the same batch. Yeah, I mean Ashwin has been talking about this ball for last year or maybe a little more than a year, maybe last couple of years, and he's been talking about how there needs to be a change. I think, well, I'm sure if he's saying that, he's got a very valid reason to say what he's saying. And for me, I think maybe the manufacturers, which is SG in this case, should speak to him and figure out what changes would he want. Because I personally believe SG test is absolutely brilliant. Whether for the batsmen or seamers with the reverse and for spinners as well. Maybe last couple of years the balls that they've been getting might not be up to the mark as much as the team management would want. But I guess it should be a phone call away.
Yeah, and we also discussed the reason why we were going with this ball over Kokobora and Duke. Before Boreda, you leave, we've got a question for you. We've got Ayan Mitra asking you. Yeah, there's a question for you. We've got Ayan Mitra asking, what is your take on English media criticizing the pitch falling apart on day one?
I've never taken the English media seriously. Let them do what they want. Offer them a Valentine's Day rose. Be sweet to them. Do some Munna Bhai. Deep will do that for us tomorrow morning at the cricket ground. Just like the internet loves you. I mean, Jack Leach and Rishabh Pant, Riddhima Pathak and internet. These are perfect pairings, and the English media will have one from Deep Das Gupta. So don't take the English media seriously. I've never taken them and the Australian media seriously in your life, because they're amusement. They're perfect amusement. Whenever they will win, the pitch is excellent. Otherwise, they're super amusement. Let India win. We will be lovely hosts. Offer them some good Indian food.
Is my internet working while I'm giving this question?
No,
Is
see,
it working?
Pragyan, would you agree or not?
I've been working like
Riddhima Pathak and the internet is Miss India and whatever. Hey, come on, man. I mean, if this is not a perfect pairing made in heaven, then I don't know what is. See, look at it now.
Okay,
Everyone knows. Yeah.
Okay, we've got a question for Pragyan. We've got Anant. What is happening to a pitch like this?
I'm not able to hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I can see you guys. Pragyan, can you hear me now? Yeah, so we've got a question for you. It says
please,
Washington Sundar should have been included for this pitch. What is your take on that? We've got a question by Anand Sehadri. Shouldn't Washington Sundar have been implemented? Yeah.
We had a discussion yesterday, isn't it? Like, it's the captain and the management, what they think, what they want from Washington Sundar. Are they happy with Washington Sundar, the batsman or the bowler? Because if you see the bowler, he was not that, Virat was not that confident. He could not give him that kind of spell in the second innings. So it clearly shows that he had his doubts about Washington Sundar's bowling. But because of that, he made some changes that he wanted to. So it's quite clear that the captain needs to have that confidence, and to give that confidence, you need to bowl those tight lines. It's not about only picking wickets. It's about keeping things tight, bowling those areas where you can make sure that you are putting the pressure on for the other bowlers to do something. So that is also part of your bowling. So that is something which Washington Sundar should be working on now. So as I said, so if you talk about Washington, the batsman, yes, he's done a brilliant job. He's got that 80-85 runs for us. But I think Indians were looking at him as a bowler who can bat, not a batsman who can bowl part-time.
Yeah. All right. So Deep has also left. So very quickly, what do you reckon is going to be the final score tomorrow? Can you hear me? Pragyan, can you hear me?
Yeah. Final score, anything. If they reach around 350, 360, it will be a brilliant score. That is what the target should be. And Rishabh Pant should look to get those quick runs for us, because the wicket is going to deteriorate, and he's the one who should take the charge and make sure that he gets those quick runs for us.
Perfect. So looking forward to Rishabh Pant. Very quickly, let's take a look at the batting and the bowling card before we close the show. Let's let's take a wrap at the show. And thank you so much for joining the program. Thanks a lot. All right. This is how India's innings pointed out. We had a Rohit Sharma hitting 161, a Shubman Gill who got out very quick. So did Virat Kohli, but Pujara putting in 21 runs. A partnership between Rohit Sharma and Ajinkya Rahane, 67 by the man. Rishabh Pant not out, and a lot of pressure and eyes on him for India's innings tomorrow. 300 for 6. That's how day one panned out. Stay tuned for day two as we shall review it. Thank you so much for joining in here on Sports Today. Very quickly on England's bowling, of course, Ollie Stone was brilliant with that economy out there. Moeen Ali giving it a lot of runs, 112 runs in 26 overs was seemed to be very, very expensive for England. Joe Root spectacular out there again, and so did Jack Leach. And we'll see what the Indian spinners have to offer tomorrow, along with Rishabh Pant's batting still remaining. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports Today.